Welcome to another recap of the amazing race. Last time on the race, Lance and Keri were eliminated. Too bad, so sad. Alright, so they're in Dubai, and in case you didn't know it, it's the playground of the Arab world. Yeah. So, this part of the race, they need to choose a briefcase and take a taxi to Dubai Creek, Boardwalk, Marina, and Yacht Club. And yeah, you had to get the title right because apparently there's a Dubai Boardwalk and Yacht Club. Alright, so it's a roadblock for one. You have to take this inflatable raft and paddle it over to a yacht where they will give you a Rolex, and you have to go back and open up your briefcase. So Matt re-dyed his hair. Gary helped him out. That was cool. It's always cool to be different, I think. So Brian had a little trouble with the rowing. It was really hard for a lot of people. And Brian ended up cutting his hand. I think it was probably a blood blister. And the Globetrotters, the hell with the paddles, they just used their hands. So, but when the Globetrotters got back to open up the briefcase, they didn't realize that it was the time. That was the combination. And he kept putting in 3, 7, 5, and I think it was supposed to be 3:35 or something 35. So the next part is Abra Station, the water taxi stand. It's a detour, gold or glass. In gold, you have to use a jewelry store scale and weigh out $500,000 in gold. But the exchange rate is constantly changing, so this one's a tough one, and you also have to figure out 500,000 divided by the exchange rate. Or you could choose glass, which is at the spice market, and you have to open up a crate full of pieces of pipe and parts from hookahs and assemble 12 of them. Alright, so both challenges were pretty tough. Meghan and Cheyne, they were first. They decided to do the hookah one. And it took them a while because they had some extra parts left over and they weren't really extra. And Brian and Ericka, they started out with the gold, but the math was hard because they didn't have a calculator. So they ended up switching to the hookahs, but that was pretty hard too because one thing was holding them up and it took them a while to figure it out. Now Sam and Dan, they came prepared. They had a $2 calculator that they bought at Walmart, but they didn't know how to use it. They didn't realize that you have to divide $500,000 by the exchange rate. But when Maria and Tiffany showed up, hey, they're all about the money, and they helped them figure it out. It took a few tries, though, because the exchange rate kept changing. So they finally got it. The heat was pretty bad, too. It was affecting Matt and Micah. They were getting nauseous from it. The Globetrotters, they started out with the hookahs for about 5 seconds, and then they decided to switch to the gold. But they were extra smart because they asked the people there if they had a calculator that they could borrow. If only the others had done that, then they figured it out pretty quick. So the next part is you make your way to Atlantis, the Palm Dubai, and you need to take a leap of faith. So yeah, that means you're going to be going down a 6-story, 90-degree water slide through a shark tank. Yeah. So after you end up doing that, you have to search for Dolphin Bay Beach, which is the pit stop for this leg of the race. So Meghan and Cheyne, no problem. They came in first. They each won a personal watercraft. I'm guessing that's a jet ski, and they just didn't want to say jet ski. Maria and Tiffany came in second, followed closely by Sam and Dan, who I'm not sure if they figured out are gay. Tricky, ladies, tricky. Alright, so in 4th place, Brian and Ericka, and in 5th place, Gary and Matt. So that leaves 2 teams, the Globetrotters and Micah and Kanan. Well, Micah and Kanan, they made it to the water slide first, but she doesn't like water and she doesn't like heights. So she ended up bringing her floaties, and she had those on, but she just didn't want to do it. Can you blame her? It's pretty freaking scary. He tried to force her, he tried to make her sit down and push her down the slide, but she totally freaked out. She needed freak out control. And he was pissed. Really pissed. So the Globetrotters showed up behind him, and the rule was that they had to wait for 2 minutes, and if they didn't go, the Globetrotters got to pass them. So yeah, the Globetrotters were talking smack, and like, Micah, don't do it, you're gonna hurt yourself, blah blah blah, and Kanan was really angry at them. So the Globetrotters got to go ahead, they busted out of there, and Kanan was so pissed that he went down the slide and left her up there alone because he just couldn't take it anymore. I can't say that I blame him. So she did not go down the slide, and she walked back down the stairs and met up with Kanan back at the bottom. So in 6th place were the Globetrotters because they went down the slide. And Micah and Kanan came in last, and they were eliminated from the race. It really didn't end well because they really didn't show a lot of the, you know, the banter at the end between Phil. Basically, Kanan said something about forgiveness, but I didn't hear that he was going to forgive her. Next time on the race, Ericka has a mofo breakdown, and the Globetrotters get down. Till next time, much love.